basically, if you work for my company, there's different options. You just make your sales commission alone. If you can be in a position where you can bring in $9,000 for the company, I'll pay you 2% of that. If you get in a position where you get $18,000, I can pay you 4% of that. If you really like what I do and want to stay with me long enough and I can coach you and train you, well, I make 20%. So it depends. You just want to make your commission, you make 2%, 4%, or 2%, your choice, but those are your options. So it's just really simple. I just gave them a 30-second BDM. And charities are pretty similar. You get $5 a sale, $10 a sale, whatever it is. Just make sure they understand the money making system and explain it right as well. Next one is the way I've obviously retained a lot of people on my team is just through value systems. So you want to write value systems there. Because what we don't want to do, we don't want to retain ourselves over and over and over because we wouldn't want to work with ourselves. One chain's enough. I wouldn't want to work with another chain. Right? It's pretty chaotic. So, how do we retain people? Well, what qualities do you have? Well, I make my whole life quite a sporty person. I can retain someone. I can easily talk to someone about sports. But how do we retain other people? Well, some people don't give a shit about sport. So I use my values in my business and talk about myself and my story to make sure I'm more attractive to a wider audience. So they'd be like, well, I know the business is doing well because I've already seen the data, but is this the sort of person I want to work with? So I'm not going to my observation, I don't go, hey look, I love rugby, so I just want people that like sport like me. If you play sport, this is the company to be in. Right? Because a lot of girls don't want to work with rugby meatheads, right? So what I say is I just try and make myself, I talk about my values, so that my values are a chance for me to show me as a person, right? And I'm very strategic with everything I say too. So I say things like, obviously grew up playing rugby, love sport, that was my first goal, wasn't quite good at that. Now I'm more into my gym, but what really motivates me is family. I grew up with my mum, she'd been she was raised pretty much by herself. She'd been sick most of her life. She's still alive now, but she was always a huge motivation for me to run a business. I can support her. Now I've got a young family, so I was want to help them. Also, I met my wife at uni when I was 19, now 35, so we've been together since then. She's another big motivator for me. So now look, I've just another 30 seconds, it's gone like, well, a sporty person, oh that's cool, but if you're not in the sport, you're like, well, I've got good, strong family values. It seems like this is the sort of person, that's why he's motivated by business. Maybe, again, I could be getting this wrong, but I've talked about people like Brooke, this we spoke about before. I said, maybe a guy that's been with his wife since he's 19 is probably less likely to be a creep towards me. If you're a female, I don't know. There's a lot of the average creepy male has probably not been with his wife since he's 19, so of course I'm going to drop that in there. So all those things I'm painting myself, and that's when we look at like guys completely different to me. My whole story used to be gym, and guy's not exactly a gym fella, but it's not he's not like he's in bad shape or anything, but he's not going to go and tuck around some tins. Right? And then Nick's starting in the gym, but Nick's not a gym guy, Nick's a muso, he's little muso, handsome Nick, He's got his cool, handsome, bloody short music vibe going on. So. But we're all different, right? So we look at us, we're completely different, but we work well together. Why? Because we've still got the same values and ambition and drive. We don't have to be exactly the same outside of work. And that's how you retain our wider audience of people. Right, I'll just quickly rush through a few more. Next one, this is the hardest one, invest in your best. Remember, we're thinking of return on investment. Not your best friend, your best person in the business. So who do you spend time with? There might be someone on your team that is a really good mate of yours. You can spend as much time as you want out of the field with them, it's up to you. But when you're in the office and in the field, you just invest in your best person because they're the person that's going to be the most important to your career going forward. So every time someone goes, Shane, I don't know how do I divide my team? I say, draw your team up for me, let me see it. I just straight away go that one. I did a guy the other day, I said, these two. And he was like, how do you know? Because that's your best person. What about this person that's got some skill set? And I was like, no, that person. Spend time with that person. Maybe you have a day with that person, but why? Why are you with them? And you just look at who is the person that's going to produce you the biggest return. Because that person, if you motivate them and you teach them right, and you spend 4 days with them and 1 day with the other person, that's 4 days you've got to spend time with teaching skills. And that person is probably the person that could train 3, 4, 5 people in the future. That person there, you're just trying to get to hang on to stay in the business to do some sales. So why would I hang on that person? When we look at that, we just think about return on investment, then we start to obviously change the way we think. Now it doesn't mean we're going to be mean to people and hang on. Like, there still might be great people. There's some of my long-term friends that I'll be friends with forever came to my business, and I'm still friends with them, but just like no longer like as business. You know, they just weren't business. They weren't right for the business, and they didn't want to sort of give what I want. So I started spending time with other people in the business, and I just told them that too. They're not gonna be, a smart person's not going to be offended by that. They will still be mates, but I'm just going to invest my time into other people because they're more important for where I'm trying to go. Couple more. Be the captain. People want to follow. I've talked about this before, but my favourite Richie McCaw moment. New Zealand's about to lose to Ireland for the first time back when we never lost. We're down by 5 points. Ireland just scored. We got to kick the ball off, and his team said to him, "What are we going to do?" And he goes, "We'll kick the ball off, we'll get it back, we'll do some phases, then we'll score a try, we'll kick the conversion, we'll win." That's what we did. It was that one where someone charged it down early and Aaron Cooper got to retake the kick and kicked it again. And then people were like, "Did you think that was going to happen?" He's like, "Of course I did." Because that's really impossible, but the team needs to think I thought that. So people have to follow you, and then they see you as obviously someone that they look up to, and like you're fearless and challenges. You go to a site, something goes wrong, because they will just copy what you do. I've even been retrained by Florence a bit, because Florence just copies everything I do. Like, and now she's doing some shit that I'm like, do I really do that? I don't realize when I sit down I make old man noises. I go, ah, and she sits down and she goes, ah. Oh, that's for me. And then the other day she was in the car, she's like, "What the fuck?" Oh no. I was like, Amber's never saw in front of her, so Amber looked at me, I was like, yeah, that's right there. So I'm not saying everyone's kids here, but people will follow you. They'll follow what you do. So, and then last one to finish off with is just say, the right way doesn't work straight away. Such an important statement to understand. Because where we go wrong, we'll teach you something, you'll do it, it won't work, you won't want to do it again. Maybe your ego's been hurt, or you've put a lot of energy into it. And it's just really important, I've got to say, it doesn't matter, you just keep doing it. If you're doing what we teach you, it works. It's not going to work in every person. You know what I'm saying? You can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. So we can do everything right, and at the same time, people just won't work out, we've got to understand that. So it's really important you find out a way that works for you, and just because it doesn't work that time, if you know the right thing, if you do it over and over and over, you will find there's people that will stay with you. I remember having talked to Henna today. I think Henna's a crazy story right now, because if we look at Hens, and me and him talked about it, he's probably consistently built the biggest sales teams in the organisation over and over and over and over again. He's got the new places, built them up again, lots of people built it. He's done it over and over and over. And no offense to Henna today, but he's not a high roller. His sales are probably, smack bang about average. But yet he keeps building these $30,000 teams and number one sales teams over and over. And I was like, how's he doing it? Well, he realized his skill set is in managing, coaching, training. He'll still go to the field and show people how to get results, but he's not going to go out there and do $2,000 all the time. But he keeps doing it. So I remember him saying to me, "Am I putting too much effort into my team?" And I said, "You're probably putting more effort than I would, but that's your skill set. So just be aware, if you're going to retain people from putting a lot of effort and emotional energy into them, you just can't be offended when they leave, because that's just your style of managing people." So he said, "Should I stop doing it?" I said, "No, keep doing it, but just don't take it personally if people leave. They don't owe you anything, just because you've committed so much of your time, you feel a little bit offended, but that's your style, you've got to do it." Whereas other people can do it just through pure sales ability, so it's not so taxing, but you just got to find out your style, and once it works, just keep doing it. Make sense? Alright, sorry, a bit late, but we started late, but thanks, Steve.